Hello, my name is William James, and welcome back to the Bald Book Geek. All of my links are in the doobly-doo. It is 2 o'clock in the morning, and this is a fantasy wrap-up. I've been reading a lot of fantasy on and off, and I thought I would pick up a handful of the fantasy novels I've been reading. So here we are. I hope you guys enjoy it, and subscribe, share, like, do all the usual stuff to help get this video seen, because YouTube won't do it, so it's all up to us. Anyway, let's start this show, shall we? So, my usual reread of The Lord of the Rings is starting. I have reread these countless times since I was a teenager. I still love The Lord of the Rings. It was the granddaddy of high fantasy and set the tone and tropes for what would come. They are iconic. I'm currently in the middle of Book 2, The Two Towers, so that's always fun. I'm listening to these on audiobook, read by the one late and great Christopher Lee. These are stunning versions, and his voice is kind of mesmerizing. There isn't much I can say about The Lord of the Rings without, what hasn't been said about them. Epic, big, beautiful, stunning works that really do keep their spirit of high fantasy. And without The Lord of the Rings, many of the books that we love today would not exist. So, The Lord of the Rings. So this one was sent to me by the writer, Dorveda, Lost Legends and Sagas of the PreFlood Earth, Volume 1. This is an interesting one for me because I was very hesitant. I won't lie here. Some of the art is gorgeous, some of it doesn't gel well with me. I'm not a great lover of big illustrated novels because I like my own imagination to do it. But this is basically a great war in heaven, and it started everything. The Seven Realms of Blood and the crashing combat across this sort of very big scope storyline. I mean, it's great storytelling, it's epic, it's big, it's splashy, it keeps you reading and reading. It's definitely the book one of a series, which is not a bad thing, and I'm looking forward to the rest. It takes place in this sort of biblically inspired fantasy realm, and it's a stunning book. It's almost post-apocalyptic in tone. It's great writing, it's great fun, and you can definitely tell it's a labour of love for the writer. I will be talking about this in another video, more in depth at some point, but I'm actually I was pleasantly surprised. I'm always hesitant when writers get in touch with me, but this really does keep you reading, and it keeps you on your seat. It's dramatic, and it's big, and it's splashy, it's original, it's beautifully written as well. Whoever edited this thing, because it doesn't give an editor credit, it's stunning, so absolutely brilliant, and definitely one that I will be talking about in another video. I also reread both of Bridget Collins' novels, The Binding and The Betrayals. She is fantasy in the terms of like Neil Gaiman, think kind of Stardust. The Binding revolves around becoming a bookbinder in this sort of alternative late Victoriana, early Edwardian thing, but you put your memories into a book and you can forget them. And he ends up going to work for a bookbinder and then finding his name on a book, and it all goes from there, and his memories and what's written in it. And The Betrayals, which is not a sequel, by the way, again deals into this magical realism type fantasy, and these are beautiful books as well. Ends up at this academy where the students end up this sort of secret magical academy, and the students and their lives and the sort of political tense of this world. Just absolutely brilliant. And Bridget Collins is a writer that really struck me, and I had the great pleasure of talking to her briefly at the Derby Book Festival. She has a voice as a writer that you don't really tend to get. She is a phenomenal writer, and definitely keeps you on the edge of your seat. She self-confessed described them as kissing books, and that's a great way to do it. These are very human stories with use the fantasy elements as a backdrop. So I adore her work, and I'm looking forward to her third novel.